This lesson is about factoring. The central question is to evaluate how to factor using the big X method. This equation is an example problem of factoring. It asks to factor x squared minus 3x minus 18 by using the big X method. Now, having our problem written down, we have to remember how to do the big X method. When we look at these right here, a x squared plus bx plus c go together and you put it in the x. You draw your big X and you have to remember that a is multiplied by c on the top and b goes on the bottom. And the number that you have over here and the number you have over here, when they are multiplied, it creates this number. And when they are added, it creates this number. Okay, now knowing how to do the big X, we could apply it to our equation, which, if we remember, would be x squared minus 3x minus 18. And if we plug it into the big X, we also have to remember that this first one is A, B, and C. Then we have to get A times C, which would be negative 18, and B would go down here as negative 3. And to find what the other two numbers are, we have to find the multiples of 18, which would be 1, 18, 2, 9, 3, and 6. And because the 18 has a negative, it means that one of these numbers will have to be negative. And because the 3 has a negative, it means the higher number has a negative. So it'd be negative 18 plus 1, which is negative 17. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. And because this negative 3 is the same as this negative 3, we can plug in these, which would have to be negative 6 right here and 3. To try to make it into the factored form, we get the number that is in front of the x squared, and we have to put it in the fraction on top of these two numbers to see if it'd be able to reduce any more than it already is. So if we try to do that, because there's nothing in front of the x squared, it would only be 1 over 6. And this one doesn't factor out, doesn't reduce anymore. And if I put the 1 on top of the 3 too, it also doesn't reduce. So all I have to do is add an x next to the 1 and move these numbers next to here, which would make them into the equations that we need, which would be x minus 6 and x plus 3. Therefore, after finding it, we saw that the factored form of x squared minus 3x minus 18 is x minus 6 times x plus 3.